Good afternoon. Today, landowners and technical specialists are advocating for an extension of the moratorium because it is the only current effective tool protecting many areas of Yolo County from increasing overdraft. To be clear, annual overdraft of water extractions from the focus area are 15,000 acre-feet in South Colusa and North Yolo, Skinny, 14,000 acre-feet in Yolo, Zamora, 6,600 acre-feet in Hungry Hollow, 4,300 acre-feet in Dunnigan Hills, 2,500 acre-feet in Winters. At the roundtable discussion on June 24th, organized by Supervisor Barajas and Freres, the YSGA Executive Director stated that it will take 5 to 15 years to collect the data necessary to defend allocations or any limitations on well extractions. They also stated that they have never denied a well verification since the start of the county permitting procedure in 2022. Once the moratorium is lifted, taking into consideration the overlying groundwater rights landowners have to extract water, the YSGA said they will not deny any well verifications except over 2,000 gallons a minute because of those rights. The YSGA is responsible for 1/3 of the verification of the well permitting procedure, determine if a new well will contribute to the groundwater decline. Currently, the YSGA's verification is an illusion rather than a meaningful safeguard. This is where the county can use their responsibility to ensure groundwater sustainability by finding tools that can help the YSGA protect the current overdraft now. Zoned AX continually being used and converted as if it were zoned AN needs to be reviewed, and it should address if these conversions are compliant with the Yolo County Strategic Plan, which calls for sustainable management of water resources. Yolo County has long been an advocate for agriculture. Be that leader now to ensure sustainability far into the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
A little long here, but just a couple things. I've been writing a lot of notes that you can see. Okay, well, first and foremost, I think, like it or not, we're all in this together. There's a lot of passion and widespread community engagement surrounding this issue. I'm obviously also really grateful for that. The protection of the water supply underlies so much of what we all do to ensure a robust agricultural economy throughout Yolo County. And if there is no water or not enough water, not only our ag sector will suffer, but also our residents and frankly, our county. So that's just kind of a general overview comment. I think the temporary well moratorium is one of numerous tools to approach this issue. I think it's obviously not a panacea. There's numerous tools at our disposal. Some are voluntary, such as the Skinny efforts in the northern part of the county. Some, the southern Colusa, northern Yolo, northern Yolo. Some are mandatory, and we're exploring some, and we still frankly have yet to explore others. There's potential, water allocation items out in the future. I mean, that's just, there are a bunch of items around this issue. I think this is also, frankly, an issue that I'm personally concerned about. I think also it's clear that the entire board has been, and many members of our community, whether you fall in the pro-moratorium, anti-moratorium side of things, due to obviously our previous actions, but also in the amount of time we've spent on this over the last few years. I'll just say for me personally as a county supervisor, it's affecting my constituents. 2 of the 4 focus areas are in my district, and I hear from constituents, many of whom are not in this room, in addition to those who are in this room, about their support for this work. I'll just make one quick side comment that I know many farmers who are not in this room today who do support this effort. If you want me to list off a list, I'm happy to do that, but we've received a lot of communication, either by phone, in-person comments, emails to the board, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not just a one-size-fits-all approach, we'll say. And I also, obviously, I'm grateful that we're not in a drought right now. We've had a bunch of, pretty solid amount of good years these last, we'll say 5 years, and we may have an epic winter coming ahead of us as well, too. But I think if we were in a drought, I think this would be a completely different conversation. I would say if the county allows a moratorium to expire, I don't believe it means the end of this issue. I think quite the contrary. Whether people like it or not, this issue is going to be an ongoing issue for all of us. in the years ahead, probably outlasting all of us serving on this board, or most of us out here in the audience. I am interested in the possibility of a narrowed moratorium, particularly in, I just think there's I know that we are not necessarily going to do that when it comes to a month from now, but I'm really interested in the staff doing the work that's needed to figuring out how we could make that happen. And then a few more comments. I think, we also don't want what's happened in the San Joaquin Valley to happen here in Yolo County, in my opinion. I mean, I think, there's the consequences of allowing irrigated agriculture to grow beyond sustainable water supplies. That has happened in other parts of this state. Some of these critically overdrafted basins, they're not, thankfully, here in Yolo County. Grateful for that. But I think we have, there is also, many folks, we haven't been very explicit about it in the last couple months, but there are absolutely agricultural investors who are migrating north, who've done this in the central San Joaquin, or in the San Joaquin Valley, migrating north looking for opportunities to repeat the groundwater mining that was so profitable for them in the southern part of the San Joaquin Valley. We have absolutely experienced, many folks in this room know this, there was a group of anonymous investors purchased a large historic farming operation with a legacy of stewardship of the land here in Yolo County, only to begin selling off the land and rich water rights to meet short-term profit targets. That is currently happening in Yolo County, and so that is something I'm worried about happening in the future, certainly. There were a number of comments. Brett, I think I think it's Leitzman, I apologize if I got your name wrong, but you said, and I appreciate this, many farmers do continue to deploy land management practices and to contribute to the collective efforts that are making water supplies more resilient in Yolo County. I very much appreciate that. I want to acknowledge that. I think that is very true, and I'm really grateful for that. I do also, though, believe that the county, we should be continuing to support those efforts by assessing and modernizing our regulatory tools, finding the most effective and efficient ways to complement water management activities to protect not only the economic viability of farming and agriculture here in Yolo County, but also sending a message to new, developers that their agricultural projects can only proceed if they don't exacerbate water shortages and impose costs on existing operations. Obviously, I think that the YSGA is going to play a major role in providing technical analysis and distilling the policy preferences of other local governments in the county, but I also think that the county should not rely on this single-purpose JPA to protect a broader public interest. I think we have a responsibility, at least a shared responsibility in that. And, that's a lot, I know, I apologize, but I think, I am really grateful, truly, fundamentally underlying all of it for the work and the months and now, in this case, years of work that we've all been doing. I also just want a really quick shout out to staff, our county staff. This falls under the other duties as assigned category. This was not in the environmental health sort of magic 8-ball, I think, for the last couple, thinking that was or the crystal ball for the environmental health department, but it's been in the other duties as assigned category. So really, really want to just appreciate folks who are taking time out of their busy schedules to come and kind of engage in this. Clearly, there's a lot of passion, and there should be. This is a super important issue for us to kind of continue to try to distill and to spend time on and get right as a county, where many others have failed. So that's not necessarily very, it doesn't wrap it all up in terms of a, clear-cut way to proceed, but I think this is a messy, one of those big wicked issues, and it's like kind of, it's a challenge to just have a cut and dry, black or white kind of solution to this. It's multifaceted, so appreciate the opportunity to just make a few comments. Thank you.